Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, SUVs, the camper. Wow, the camper man here, Iceman. Been camping in the camper Friday night, Saturday night. Was it Thursday? Did I pick it up Thursday? Is that when we picked it up, right? So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, 4 nights. Some are gambling. I'm not going to make it very long. So anyway, say good morning to all those that tune in to watch the Ice Age TV antics and adventures here on the Ice Age TV compound. Which, look at all the cars. Just look at all the collection of cars. Unbelievable. The Explorer ST finally got finalized. You know, I really do like the Explorer ST. It really is a nice car, and the wife's really excited about it too. So that's a good thing, even though debatable on all the car purchases of what I just did. Took a took a Bronco Raptor for basically Explorer ST. Yeah, right. Does that make any sense? Took a F-250 Tremor truck for a regular F-250 Platinum. Yeah, does that make any sense? Yeah. Don't come to this channel for everything to make sense. That's for dang sure, but what a weekend. The adventures, the cars, out of room. I just don't have any room. I'm out of room. I need more buildings, more shops. Forget that. Get rid of vehicles. Save money. Yeah, why don't I continue to build more buildings just to stuff more stuff in it? I'll pass. And the birds are winning. Yes, the birds are winning. I just gave up on the smoker. Doesn't work. And yesterday, Chris and Shannon came over to kind of check out the camper, and Chris came by to give a few pointers and things to do. And Shannon found an injured bird down here, hanging out down here that got injured. And I was like, well, my heart ain't bleeding for that thing too much because they crap on everything. And, oh my goodness gracious, what a weekend. If you really watch my channel, which, you know, I'm sure some watch it and some don't, just a lot of stuff that I post a lot of times. And the car meet never really played out yesterday, and it turned into the bike meet. I was pretty impressed with all of the motorcyclists that showed up yesterday at the car meet. We got a really late start, and there's a lot of content. It takes a lot of time to walk around and find somebody and then kind of get a conversation going. And yesterday just wasn't really the day I felt excited to do that. That's what it's all about. So getting excited to do something. And here's Kiefer, always on the mission to do something. And so going up. Ouch. Go on. Tango. I don't know where Tango is, but whatever. Tango. So anyway, so here he is. Where's Tang? Get him upstairs. Come on, Tang. And you guys stay here, Keefy. Stay there, Keefy, because you're just too out of control. Find a ball or something, man. Just go find a ball. Have some fun. Lights, camera, action. Yeah, if you're really watching my channel, you'll see that I spent Saturday evening going on my way to clean up the Camaro and clean up the Corvette to take to the car show, only to end for none of that played out. So, yeah. And if anybody's waiting for my Sunday morning conversation, you can see it till late, or excuse me, Sunday morning, good morning. You didn't sit till later in the day. Just the day got by very quickly, and as always, it's always something different. I just change my mind and go a different direction. And we actually got a chance to ride both of the Hondas yesterday, and the kid super excited about the Honda CB 1000R here. Honda Goldwing, lifesaver, very puzzling. I'm drinking my coffee. Puzzling what happened yesterday as I just about crashed on this motorcycle. So, hey, man, what the hell is going on in my life? But, you know, if you ride motorcycles, you drive cars, as much as you're exposed to the road, it's inevitable something's probably going to happen to you. It's just the way life is. And so that Honda Goldwing right there, weirdest thing in the world happened on that bike. I'll tell you straight up, I don't know. It's very, really weird. And one of my subscribers, Mr. Sanchez, he's puzzled that maybe if a wind gust got me, how come others didn't? I don't know. That's a good point. But the others went by me, and I was one-handed driving because I'm a crazy guy on what I do. But I think that's going to have to come to an end. I think I'm going to buy the Insta 360 4 4 series, I think. Only downside of that stuff, it's so much work. I talk about all the time on my channel. If I want to go to these Insta cameras, you have the little SIM cards or whatever you want to call the cards, and you have to take that and you have to put it in your computer in order to load the content and all the video you did. So it's a lot of time, and it's so much time. And for me, it's just already, to me, in my own world, I live my own world, it's so much time and effort on this channel for little to no return. Little to very small hits on my channel, which just is so befuddling. It's so weird on how it just doesn't really make sense to me, but we're not going to harbor on that and focus on that. Whole point is, yeah, I need to video differently ride my motorcycle before I kill myself, which, yeah, that's yesterday. It's the weirdest thing in the world. As I was going down the road, we were coming back in, and we were basically doing the last stretch with Chris and Shannon going off one direction. I was going off a different direction, and as I was filming, all of a sudden this bike, for some reason, drove left like you can't believe. It started leaning over, tipping over. So if you see this angle right here, picture this bike a little bit more extreme of angle, but the bike started driving left into the median, which was a grassy area, and with all my might, with my left hand, but keep in mind, the left hand is, what's pushing down in some ways, but with all my might, I'm on this rear brake, which it's a dual braking system. So when you put this brake down, it's actually controlling the front and the rear. And this bike, miraculously, it was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced in my life. This bike was literally going to go lay down on the ground and me go with it. This bike, as it was coming to a slower, slowing down radically, the bike righted itself up like a gyro effect. The weirdest effect I've ever had on a motorcycle. The weirdest, I'll tell you what, this is the second time I've been on a fully dressed Honda Goldwing that has gotten me out of a situation that I've never would have ever believed. I was in Tennessee riding in the back hills way up on the mountains, and you get down some of these back roads, you lose everything. You lose total connectivity with your phone. And so I was way up on a rainy day, and I went around a corner a little too fast, and so I probably could have hugged it, but I got concerned and I went off the road into a ditch. And now I'm in a ditch all by myself way up on a road. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I went into the, what's so cool about these motorcycles here, if you look, I'll show you. It has the different modes. And I was in the DCT, which in some ways probably was better than being the manual. So now I own a manual. But if you look right here, you see tour mode. And then you go to sport mode, econ, rain mode. So I went into rain mode, and going into rain mode, that there changed the dynamics of the bike. So as I was in the ditch, the tire got me out of the ditch by not spinning. It just was kind of like crawling itself out of the ditch. And it was just incredible. So if I was on my Harley, there's no way. I would have been just sinking in the ditch. I would have had to probably have a tow truck. I would have to wait until somebody came by. Then we'd have to ride down the mountain. I mean, it would have just been a really long day. The whole point is, these Honda Goldwings are just incredible bikes. The way this thing rides. And so some people are like, well, yeah, but what's the word of the day? Well, the word of the day is media. I thought to myself this morning, and for some watch my channel, how I come up with these words, my conversation, well, hold on. It's all about what's going on, and media is a very broad term. It just has so many. Sitting here, and I'm looking at my camera. I think my camera is a little dirty here, so sorry for the screw up here, but man, it just doesn't end better. So I thought to myself, the media, my throat's early in the morning, gotta get some water or something. The media is because of Chris's bike. So yesterday, we take Chris's bike out. He has a brand new Road Glide. It's not the CVO, but it's a brand new Road Glide. So it's the same infotainment media center, which media has a broad meaning of information, music, news, internet. And so sure enough, on his bike, it's the same old story. his bike loses connectivity, and he doesn't have music now playing through the speakers. So now we're up at the we're down there in Front Royal. We drove the bikes down to get nice pizza melt down in Front Royal, and so now he's fighting the media center, the infotainment center, to be able to watch his to be able to get his music to play. So after we got done at the pizzeria place, we spent 15 minutes screwing around with that damn infotainment center. And for anybody here that has a modern car, does the infotainment center or the media thing in your car about drive you nuts? And I thought it's so appropriate that how in the car's infotainment media center is a constant challenge, just like the media that we live in today. I thought it's just incredible on how the media just pisses you off. I mean, doesn't the media just piss the hell out of you? Because it's so twisted and demented. It's so bad. There's a little Kiefer eating in grass, probably throw up later. Yeah, I mean, the media machine just try. I mean, I don't know how Elon Musk. Oh my gosh. Anybody here? I wish somebody else here would reach out my channel and say, you know, I go to X and I'm not seeing what you're seeing, or no, I go to X and I just don't follow X because all it is the hate machine. And it's deliberate. It's deliberately being done by those that hate. That's just all it is. And it's just so bad. So for Chris, later that day, he texted me late yesterday, and because we sat there and we Googled, YouTubed, and apparently there's a software issue on the new Harleys 2024, the new Skyline, or what do they call the new infotainment center, and it's got a glitch in it where you lose the speakers. So Chris got home and he got smart and he pulled the fuse to totally deactivate and kill all the energy to that unit, plugged it back in, he got it to work. But to me, it tells me, he says there's an over-the-air Wi-Fi capability to update the software. So yesterday, some probably, why do you ride your Harleys? Well, the Honda Goldwing was the savior yesterday. You know, the Honda Goldwing, it's just incredible how the Honda Goldwing really is the nicest motorcycle. Of all the motorcycles here, this is the most refined, nicest motorcycle in my views, but it doesn't give you that true V-twin, gurgling, burbling exhaust note. It just doesn't give you the same feeling as you get out of the Harleys. And the infotainment center, in my opinion, sucks. If you look right here, when it turns on, it's just like a car. Infotainment center, it looks borderline gaudy. And there's so many buttons and things that you got to do to try to make it work. It just isn't really, it just isn't the most appeasing in that aspect. But the way the bike rides, the power, the stability, the confidence, it's really incredible. I'll turn it back on because I like to just share with you. And some may know this, some may not. And so this has the screen that goes up and down. That is huge. That is a huge difference. This has what they call the bug catcher. Let's just get it, pop it up, which I can't. It just doesn't end. See right there? Oh, there it is. So this here is supposed to be where the bugs that come up underneath here, and it'll catch the bugs instead of catching you in the face. And until you ride a motorcycle, you just don't get it. With all the debris, the stuff that's flying around that hits you in the face, and sometimes it can really hurt. So it's called the bug catcher right there. And once again, I've had the DCT, and this is now the manual. I really do like the manual. What's nice about this here is you can put your phone in there. You got your USB connector. And then what's really puzzling here is for the gas, to get to the gas, when I first bought my first Honda Goldwing, the dealership didn't tell me how to fill up the bike. So I'm just about out of gas. And it's like a Sunday, and I have no idea, how do you open this? You'd think you just push down this and it would open up, right? So I'm looking all over this bike. I'm going about nutty at the gas station. Finally, I open this little thing here. There's a little gas button right here that pops that open. I mean, it is a nice feature, but if you don't know this motorcycle and someone didn't tell you what to do, you're going to be like, what the heck? And what's really incredible is I have all the accessories for this bike. I have a ton of accessories. You come back here, It's just about the time. It's the never-ending time on. So I've got a ton of the Gold Strike accessories that if I could get motivated, new floorboards, rear light, cup holder, rear trunk accessory rack, yeah, in all my spare time of nothing to do. And then I rode around with my Harley Davidson open face helmet with my Bluetooth thing, and that worked out really well. Oh yeah, okay, so that's all over there. So yeah, there's even more over here. The cell phone holder, yeah, I need to get my act together and get all that stuff put on. But it's just never-ending me buying something new or something else. But here's the thing: when you come over here to the Triumph, which I was very tempted to drive the Triumph yesterday, look at this infotainment center. This is a whole different, much smaller platform infotainment center, but this really has a lot of the technology that bike has in some ways, where you have to dial through a whole different screens. And for me, owning so many different motorcycles, it's just incredible on me having to figure out how to go through each screen, and it just doesn't end. Jumping in and out of cars and this and that. So on the infotainment and the media, that's the challenge more than ever for us in today's world. Is it gets confusing because you don't know what to believe and what to believe, and that's what I'm saying with me and my addiction to all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and everything else. Getting in each one of these vehicles, and then kind of figuring out what does what. It's like, oh my gosh, just like this toy hauler. Really, we're loving this thing. The daughter and I hang out here. This is my new man cave, and I just can't emphasize enough how this thing is so much fun. But I've so questioned getting the bikes in and out of this freaking trailer. I don't think it's that radical, but when you're riding a 1,000-pound bike up, it's when you're backing out and you have a very steep incline on the bike, and you're like, oof, wow. So, and it's hard to believe, 2 weeks from now, if this truck and trailer, for the most part, isn't set up and ready to get out of here by early Wednesday morning, I'm not in good shape. Because what you learn in traveling, you do not want to, the day before you leave, really want to have you busting your ass to get everything in order to travel, because you're just exhausted. So for me, hopefully 2 weeks from now on a Sunday, this thing's pretty much all set up and ready to go for the road trip, which will be my first real experience of the road trip. Have the birds calmed down a little bit? Looks kind of like they've somewhat calmed down a little bit. Not totally. Really warm up here. And so once again, we go to Myrtle Beach, and then for me, be down there, and I'll share my camping adventures and trips and everything else. And so back to media stuff. So for the media on all these different cars and trucks and motorcycles, it's for all of us, I think, that interact with our cars. Is it just about driving you nuts sometimes? But what's really intriguing is, I've talked about this a while back, is GM has taken the position that their cars will no longer interface with Apple and the Android product. And I haven't looked into a lot of information on that, but I'm just befuddled. Okay, so what are you going to do? What's your, text messaging, phone calls, mapping? I don't get it. If anybody else out there has more information on that, that would be really good to hear you reach out and share your knowledge of what General Motors is doing. I talked about this last week. I'm surprised that I bought another F-250 truck. And for the record, the kid loves that F-250 truck. I'm not lying. On Saturday, I was up there at Coons Baltimore Ford. The kid texted me that she just loves that freaking truck. And she's not experienced what I experienced. But that's very, very debatable. You're talking about one guy that's been driving a car for over 40 years versus another person's been driving a car for a few years. And that truck, something ain't right. I still don't have my 4-valve stem caps, which I went to Coons Baltimore Ford, and we're still laughing at that. Here's the Dark Horse, and where's my supercharger? Be unbelievable. So Whipple hasn't come through. and I'm not getting any notices from anybody of anything being shipped to me. So that thing's just dead in the water, just beyond believable. And when we were up there, I was up there Saturday, and that nice 37 came in, Raptor. One guy's like, "What about your Dark Horse?" I'm like, nah, no way. Look, I'm not giving that thing up for another truck. I mean, sincerely, to get another truck, yeah, my media machine in my own brain, yeah, I get you on that. I mean, I understand. Look at the carpenter bees. They're trying to mate there. How about that? To eat more of my barn, as the Keithy boy runs around and does his antics and does his things, and all the dogs sleep with us inside this camper right here. For me, I've been so busy on doing so many tasks, getting things in order, just so much. I really haven't spent a lot of time reading a lot of content of a lot of things. I mean, Elon Musk, he's over in China. Jeez, it's just, oh my gosh. So Elon Musk, here's Kiefer going after. This is interesting. Elon Musk, I have no idea what he's chasing, is over there in China negotiating the FSD, full self-driving capability in China, because this country here is really starting to crack down on Elon. They're really starting to dig up that his full self-driving has really had a lot of accidents. There's a lot more going on than's being disclosed, and so our country is taking a little more stiffer position against Elon Musk, and they're saying, we're not so sure we want you having these driverless cars on the roads in this country. So now he's going to China to negotiate them allowing him to take his cars and experiment with them in China. And he's trying to get China to be, I guess, more favorable to the Tesla brand. So Elon Musk is, I always say he's a double-edged sword, Elon Musk. On one hand, he presents himself as this all good to do, save the world and save mankind. But at the other end of the spectrum, he caters to the China, which so many feel like China is such a corrupt country that doesn't really play by the rules. And, there's a lot. And the reason is because he's trying to get his stock to raise back up. And meanwhile, Ford claims that the EV sales are down by 85%. And Ford has pretty much stopped production of the electric F-150 truck. And now they're going to focus more on the new Ford Ranger and the Ford Bronco and the new Ford Ranger Raptor. So they're taking people that work on the EV side to now help more on the ICE side. But yet, it just intrigues me all the time. And I talk about it all the time about how there's so many of the doomer gloomers in the world that talk about never ending, everything's going to come to an end. But yet, I'm at Coons, Baltimore, Florida Saturday, and there's people lined up to buy cars. My friend Chris and Shannon, they were thinking about buying a toy hauler fifth wheeler. They have a fifth wheeler, but not a toy hauler. So they're thinking about trading their fifth wheeler in for a new toy hauler. But for Beckley's RV, there's just nothing there. They're not going to go out of their way to try to make a deal. They don't have to. Beckley RV sells over 100 RVs a month. And so if you have a freshly used 2-year-old RV, you're going to probably take a 30% hit on it. And so you're going to have to come to the table with that 30% difference of value to be able to buy a new one. And they're not they're not bending over to sell anything because they don't need to, because they'll sell another one. And then they went to the BMW dealer, and their long-term BMW friend is so overwhelmed with sales that he couldn't even take the time to spend time with them at the local BMW dealership on Saturday, because he had 2 other customers ahead of them, and he just offered for them to get the stock number and the key and go do their own drive on whatever car they want. But yet, and then I had a YouTuber guy reach out to me that he was over in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the car dealership he's at is overwhelmed with customers. They don't have enough car salespeople and finance people to get deals done. I mean, but yet the guy that's getting 100,000 hits today will be the guy. I mean, so anybody out there on my channel, and don't get me wrong, it's not the constant gloom and doom, but I'm just intrigued. I guess I need to change the message. Do I need to change the message? I mean, really? I mean, really. And once again, these guys that make the money are the guys that present the media. So that's why I'm talking today about the media, because we live in an age of media that is so twisted and so demented that it's beyond believable that people buy in to the stories of what people publish. And I think people have been brainwashed from watching ABC News, NBC News, CBS News from the 70s and 80s. That would be my generation. But then you even go to the 90s generation. They've been brainwashed that whatever is published on a video is the facts. So if you're a video creator and you can publish what seems to make sense to others, that the world's come to an end, and you can mouth off in some statistics, then people believe that, and that's what they cave to. But yet this country, I'm sorry, somebody has to start proving me wrong on my channel. Send me links where you live. People have all lost their jobs. People having their cars repoed like never ever seen. All the houses are being foreclosed in your own backyard. Send me links. Send me links so I can start sharing this on my channel, that what really is going on in the media actually in some ways is true. But in the other spectrum, you'll say, yeah, but the other side of the equation, they'll promote how great everything is, but it's not great. The media. So what I said earlier to everybody on my channel was, doesn't the media just piss the hell out of you? Doesn't it just piss you off? Because you see things in front of your eyes that you're like, but it's not so. It's not true. And so for me on my channel, I'm not saying the dire straits of this country going down the toilet. I'm sorry. It's not happening. It's not happening. And I'm in Florida. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in this Virginia, Maryland, D.C. area. It's not happening. It's people are making money. People are spending money. And things are flourishing. But then personally, we'll compare it to the pandemic, which, like, what a waste of freaking time. Yeah, right. There's Kiefer boy. So that's the point of the conversation this morning, is the media, who wants to even watch it? I mean, sincerely. I can guarantee you, a large portion of people watching my video today are like, yeah, I just turned it off. It's a waste of time. All it does is enrich people to lie to people. That's all it does. It's just the enriching others to lie to others. But doesn't that in some ways just piss the hell out of you, that we live in a society that the people that lie and cheat are the ones that get enriched? I mean, sincerely, doesn't that just piss you off? That there's so many people out there, and when you go to the government, doesn't that just irritate the hell out of you, that you know the government does devious things to enrich others by handing out monies to get things done that only just appeases to a select few? But what are you going to do, right? Besides get pissed off. So forget all that stuff. You know what you do? You go get on a motorcycle. You go get behind the wheel of your car. Just go escape. Get away from all the crap. And that's what my life's always been about. My outlet in life for my escape has always been about me leaving work and getting in my nice car. Me coming home and jumping on my nice motorcycle. That's been my escape in life. That's been my social that's been my social outsource. It hasn't been hanging out with a bunch of people and partying and going to the stadium. Mine has been typically me having my fun time, driving on the road in my really cool car, truck, or if I come home, I clean my car or truck, and that's what's really been most of my lifestyle. It hasn't been me hanging out with the guys at the golf club. It hasn't been me hanging out with the guys, tailgating at the, but I never really wanted to do that. I'd rather be at home, getting my bike all cleaned up, and take a nice ride. I'd rather be at home putting an accessory on my motorcycle. And what that has done for me in my life, it's kept me out of this social network that the social media machine thrives on. And that's why I say to people on my channel all the time, I never ever wanted to do a YouTube channel because I just never really wanted to expose myself to who I am and how crazy I am. That I'm a guy who goes out and buys cars and motorcycles and trucks, and I just buy stuff all the time. And I never wanted to do that. So here I am, 4 years later, and now more than ever, as my channel has grown, people see the antics of who I am. And for many are like, this guy's just freaking nuts. But I was doing this years ago, not the same level, meaning not the same, but I was always have been buying and selling cars my whole life. And maybe I had 4, 5, 6 cars here versus this many, but I've always done the same thing. And so then the YouTube channel, Ice Age, really came more about the EV age. I was more intrigued to start this channel on the Ice Age, because I felt like the EV age would give it great content for me to be able to share with others of what the transitioning of where we're going in this country through the Media Machine. And there it goes right back to the Media Machine. The Media Machine has convinced so many that the EV vehicles, but they haven't. And that's the irony to where we are in society. The Media Machine pushing the green agenda, but right now it's a known fact that between China and other big EV manufacturers, there is now a lull in the excitement of the EV vehicles. So it definitely has slowed down. Are they still selling EV vehicles? They are. So I think it's misguided for somebody to get on a channel and say that the EV age is over. It's not over. It's not going to stop. Yeah, sure, will the sales go down? But here's the danger. We're in a war with the world like never ever seen. And once the gas goes back to $6 a gallon, we're getting there, just for the record. We're getting there. We're on premium in my area. We're at $4.50. Diesel's back up to $5. So as soon as the $6 gas starts to really stay in hand, guess what's going to happen? People are going to be all about buying an electric vehicle. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind. And can Joe Biden control the world market? He can't. And for the pro-Palestinians that are now in encampments across the country and universities, I mean, how radical does it get? When does the all-out breakout craziness start where you see just radical things happen? And now Russia is point blank telling the other nations that if they get involved in this Ukraine war by a little bit more, they're going to use nuclear artillery to start taking out key things in this infrastructurist world. You guys hear me? I mean, so even for me, not really reading a lot of content, just little stuff I do read here and there. Now, how factual is that statement by the guy that's what somebody thinks a loony guy over there in Russia that we're at war with? So all it takes is just a few major terminals, major oil facilities throughout the world to start getting targeted and get nailed. And all of a sudden, you know how many people want to buy an EV vehicle? Yeah, I can assure you, it'll go through the roof. All it takes is you go sit at a gas station one time for 8 hours to get your truck filled up or car filled up, or 4 hours, or you can't even get any fuel and you're stuck at your house. I can guarantee you the amount of EV vehicles will disappear. But is that the underlying goal? I mean, sincerely, think about it. How does the EV sales take off again? It's the devil's workshop, idle hands. Well, the EV manufacturers get too idle. What a loony goes out there and starts creating world havoc of the energy supply problems to create the green agenda win. Yeah, sounds far-fetched. I think anybody here on my channel looks at what's going on in the world. Do you think anything's far-fetched anymore? I mean, sincerely. I mean, what's going to happen at these universities? How much longer are the pro-Palestinians going to stay idle and not become much more aggressive and something radical happens? I mean, I don't know. I'm not the person that dwells on that type of stuff. But sadly, the Media Machine that so the Media Machine that you and I participate in so many ways is the devil's advocate. You know why? Idle hands watch media. How many people know people that all they do is sit at home all day long watching the media? That's all they do. And more than ever in our society, why do you want to ban TikTok? I mean, do you really think it happens? Do you really think TikTok gets banned? I mean, come on. Do you really think it plays out? I think it's all smoke and mirrors, personally. I mean, it's just too big. It's too much money. Too many actors are in the thing, and that's what it is. It's all about the actors more than ever in today's society. They're behind the screens of all these devices and what's really going on. But the devil's advocate is right here on our doorstep because so many people just sit around all day but do nothing but listen to the devil's message. And we all wonder why things are going out of control more than ever. Yeah, right. What was the most profitable book in the world? The Bible. What's one of the most profitable things in the world today besides social media platforms? Yeah, I mean, think that through. So if the evolution of mankind, us progressing through the years of the message, the information, and look where we are. But yet, here we are and still in religious wars. I mean, we're in a religious war of the Israel versus the Palestinians. I mean, so the religious wars aren't going to stop. Hey, Kiever, all right, that's it. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. It's just trying to create content, being a YouTube creator, content. And what does it draw? That's the thing. What does it draw? What path? And that's what I think to myself. In my success in life, I didn't have to pay people off. I have so many people I know that have been successful in life that had to take the cheater's way to get there. And did I go pay people off to become well? Nope. I've been a salesman my whole life for the most part. And I witnessed very young in my career how salespeople would bribe people, pay people to do things, get contracts, get businesses. I never would do it. And even to the date of my business that I'm in, previous business, I had friends that became very successful and wealthy because they went and paid people off. And that's just, it just maddened me because they didn't gain their business through just hard work and hard efforts. They gained it through paying people off, cheating the system. But that's where we live in today's society. And that's the underlying message that sadly is being presented to the younger people of our country and world through this social media, that you just do nothing and you'll be rewarded. Yeah. I mean, because the government will take care of you. Yes, it's very sad. It's the media machine that's ruining our country more than ever before. But you'll have arguments with that all day long, which forget that. I don't make enough money, don't have enough time to go down that rabbit hole. And that's what it turns into, just a rabbit hole. So as always, everybody, thanks so much for watching my channel. Share the channel, help it grow. And we have more adventures. There's always an adventure. There's always a story. Just stay involved and try to keep the what's to say, the two wheels down or something. My biker bug friend always posts me. He's been sending me some emails, and they're just not coming through. They won't open up. Just so you know, Mr. Biker Bug. And so anyways, that's it. And now it's more of the bike riding time, bike season. Nicer weather's here, so I'm sure there'll be more of those adventures and fun time. But I gotta go to work, take care of business, and call it a day. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching my channel. God bless. Have a great day.